Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Quilt Nerd. It's Tuesday night and it's 7 p.m. Central, and if you're in the United States, it's a sane hour of the day. If you are in, can everybody hear me by the way? Oh God. Yeah, it's Quilt Church. Oh Lord. Hear our cry. So yeah, if you're in another part of the world, like our friend Kiki in South Africa, our friend Carolyn in Germany, I need to email Carolyn. If you're in the UK, like our friend Marianne, you might be sleeping right now, and it's okay. If you're watching the replay, if you're any of those folks, or if you're not one of those folks, but you're watching the replay, thank you for watching. I need to get on my replay game. I have to, I don't know. So earlier today, I was thinking about how, I have an expressive face, and it gets me in trouble. It's gotten me in trouble my whole life because I'm like, no poker face. I've never played poker. I've never wanted to learn because I know how bad I would be at it just with the face part. But I was thinking today about, I had this crazy day. It's like, well, that's not what you came to hear about. You don't care about my crazy day. I mean, you might care, but I am here to entertain you. Let me entertain you. Let me inform you and give you things to think about and give you beautiful things to look at. And let me do that for you, Let me do that for you. And so, I mean, today was really insane and there's so much going on, but yeah. And so I have all these, I have tasks. I have tasks on my Twitch list, right? And my live stream list and everything needs to be done. And oh yeah, SJ. Oh my God, SJ's here. I think I kind of have a crush on you. I didn't say that out loud. Okay. See, I wear my heart on my sleeve and I express everything with my face. And anyway, yeah. I mean, I can tell you about my life. I mean, I think that's that makes sense. But to tell you my long list of things I have to do, I just got to do them. I got to do them. It'll be a year starting this project in July, and I feel like we've come a long way. So I have to be kind to myself. Tonight's content plan is ridiculous. I've decided that oh wow, that's a highlighter. Look, the green screen makes it clear. I love it. Oh, and that's a strawberry leaf. Anyway, I have stickers. And I've decided the title of every stream is yeah for me. It's for me. It's just something for me. Whoa! Padma wrote. Okay, Padma said, "This always happens. Something like this always happens." Something strange happens with this show. Something wonderful. Padma wrote the words, "Heart on my sleeve." I understand. In the chat as I said it. It's weird. Stuff happens. People look for patterns. I understand. Some things aren't weird. They're just normal life. But this show's different. Something always happens like that. Anyway, the content plan is insane. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to do tonight. It was one of those shows where I thought I had the plan figured out, and then I stumbled upon something wonderful, and then I remembered something else wonderful. And so I'm going to say hi to folks as I kind of do the intro part. Ivana, hi. Ivana, I mailed your stuff. Yesterday, I mailed the DVDs back. So those are on their way. I have a tracking number. I could give it to you. It's somewhere, but I think that they will arrive safely. Thank you so much, beyond thank you. And we're going to watch some of the... So Ivana sent me some DVDs that were hard to find, some public television quilt specials and things from Wisconsin Public Television in 1995, and Ivana sourced those things. And so I got those DVDs from her, put them on my computer. And so because we are a educational, cultural, analysis, entertainment show, we can watch those things together, learn about them, comment on them, chat on screen about these things, and enjoy this content that people worked so hard to make. Unless you watch it on Quilt Nerd, are you going to go to the library and find it? Maybe if you're doing a paper or you're doing research on something, you might seek out some of these deep cut quilt documentaries and things. But I don't know, I think a lot of people would really like to see that stuff, but wouldn't seek it out on their own. And that's what Quilt Nerd is like all about, you know? So like I said, I was starting to say, hey, Robin and M. Hicks. Yeah, there's so many people in the chat. It's awesome. So as I say hi to everybody, I'm just going to say what this show is. And it's my favorite thing to do. I've never done anything like this. And when I say totally on my own, I mean that I've always worked with an ensemble or a team. I've been a freelancer my whole life, but I've never done a project only on my own that's also live in front of everybody. So it's been really amazing so far and really different from anything I've ever done. And I appreciate you. If you're watching this show live, it's always free to watch live here on Twitch. I chose Twitch because I just gotta be me. I'm a rebel. By the way, the pigtails, I know, it's not... I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. I want it so badly. And I just can't with my hair, so I just did that. Anyway. So, you know, like YouTube, I'm tired of it. I hate Facebook. I hate YouTube. I hate it all. So it's like Twitch. Well, that's not sullied yet by life. So I'll just use that. So that's why we're here. And if you subscribe here on Twitch, it means the world to me. It helps me keep going because it's like, yeah. If you have an Amazon Prime membership, you can subscribe to this show for free because Amazon owns Twitch, and you can you get a free subscription to a Twitch channel every month. And so if you go into your Amazon Prime thing, you can use your subscription on this show, and that's cool because you get stuff. You don't have to watch ads, and you get like fun emoticons to use. People have been using them in the chat. You may see welcome baskets if you're new. If we get mad at something, and we often do, we have a bee. It's not a quilting bee. It's a mad bee. It's a bee, like a bee in our bonnet, you know. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. It's really been the most fun thing I've done in a long time, and it's hard and it's fun, and it's about quilts. We just nerd out on this stuff. You'll see what's behind me changes every show, at the beginning of every show, and it's not what it appears. I mean, I don't know what it looks like to you, but I'm going to tell you what it is in a minute. It looks like some poster from like the Old West. You know, maybe it is. I don't know. We'll find out. So I bring you all this content I find when I'm looking, you know, I'm preparing to do this workshop for Quilt Folk. We're going to talk about it. So I'm researching quilts and literature. You know, I'm giving a presentation every single month for the next year for this project. And so I'm looking all around and I'm reading stuff. I got all these books and I find this wonderful stuff, this wonderful content about quilts. And quilts are really about the world. They're about human nature, and they're about you and me and art and, you know, and history and women and men. And so I have all this stuff that I find, and there's nowhere to put it most of the time because there's too much of it. So I started the show so I could share it. And yeah, why do I want to cry? See, that's not what this is about. It's not about me and my face and crying. It's about you. All right? All right. I'm getting through this intro quickly. Actually, no, I am. It's only like 18 after. And also, if you've not come here before, we take the first 10 minutes. I don't start till 10 minutes after the hour because people need to get their notifications, come in, chill, hang out, say hi. And then, you know, it's a crack up. Today was for sure a crack up. Okay, yeah, Ivana, I want to know what you're cooking. Okay, MX and Myra's here, and Jay Danseur, and I'm going to go through the list a little. There's so much to talk about. Tonight, Molly and Sue. Peace Movement, oh my God. Peace Movement, welcome. Do you see those welcome baskets? Are you feeling the love? We are glad that you're here. This community, I was talking to a friend of mine today. I was in meetings all day, but they were like the best meetings with the coolest people, with the coolest projects. It's so cool. And he was like, your audience, and he may be watching right now, he's like, they're smart, they're engaged, they're cool, you know? I mean, he's like, I get it. Like, I know. So if you love this show, tell one of your smart, engaged, quilt nerdy friends. Oh, yes. Word and Bird Nerd. BB0960, jammin'. Hell yeah, you're jammin'. I have a soundboard. I love it. I use it all the time. You'll see. Joy's Fibers Tawny, hi. Hey, Myra. Oh, thanks Thanks for cheering. Yeah, you can cheer and you can subscribe and you can follow all these things. And Kitty Hannah, hi. It does feel like a Friday. I think I agree. Bonnie Kane asks, is there such a thing as too many quilt groups? I had guild last night. My Modern Quilt Guild meeting is going on now on Zoom, and now I'm on with you. Someone just complained about that cherry quilt from QuiltCon that Mary showed us. That's very interesting. I'm not booing the quilt. Complaining. And remember, we didn't complain about it. I felt it was a very interesting moment for the Modern Quilt Guild. It was not controversial. It was fascinating to us, and we know the difference, right? Padma and Ivy and SJ, oh Lord, spill the tea. I'm going to skip that conversation. Not that I want to skip it, but for content reasons, but we have to move along. But I'm interested to know what's discussed. Yes. Okay, and Bonnie. Okay, got it. Okay, I see. Pemberito. This is great. Penny Catherine. And Jill, your soul needs the nerds tonight. You know what? Same. Feeling better today, but man, I was feeling beat up earlier this week, I tell you. Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. And then what is it when you get what you want? It's just great. So, I got some of the stuff I want. You know what? I went out last night for the first time in a really long time. Susan here with the tacos. We still don't have a taco sound effect. I tried a few and it was awful. Some sound effect of someone munching tacos. It was terrible. I went out last night to Soho House. It was very fancy. I think that's the first time that sound effects has been totally appropriate. It was awesome. It was really great. I wore clothes. I wore actual clothes. Yeah. Okay. Kelly and Quilting Nancy. All the emotes. Oh, I love it. We have some good ones. Okay, let me think. Quilty. Okay, I'm going to go quick. Mother Nature. And Liz D. And Dee Dee Brew Crew. Amazing. Rhonda. Quaco Cat. The gang's all here. Kenny! If there were a crazy day of shopping for quilt supplies. Oh, I wish. Hey, L Riggs. SJ, we've spoken already. Hey, Natalie. Okay, so if I haven't said hi to you yet, I'm gonna say hi to you as we go. I promise I will do my best. Hey, Shelly. Oh my God, Shelly's here. I'm so glad. Thanks for coming. Thanks to all my mods for doing what you do. It's a safe place here. Twitch gets a reputation because it's a gaming platform for a lot of people. Not everybody. It's a great live streaming platform, and that's why I like using it. But there are more God, it's so terrifying to say certain things now, and I mean it just is. It's not a judgment call, but there's more men than women on Twitch, right? For the most part, a lot of them are younger because they're these gaming people, and I know everyone plays games, whatever. But Twitch is a live streaming platform. It's been used by gamers for a long time, and they have craft content and art content and a lot of sewing and garment content, and I think live streaming is where video content is headed, period. I think a lot of people will live stream a lot in the coming years, you'll see. And so there's more and more stuff on Twitch, but the reason that I wanted to thank my mods is that I have great stuff set up so you can't use certain words in here. You just get automatically blocked. But the mods help moderate the chat and make sure people who didn't use a bad word, if their chat gets flagged somehow, it's weird. Sometimes it happens. Someone's chat got blocked and needed moderation because they used the word bobbin. We have no idea why. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, thanks to my mods because you guys are awesome and you really help out. Theodore with my tunes. Prairie Susie. All right. So if I haven't said hi to you, if you just came in, I will completely say hi. Hey, Mussolini. So here's what's going on. There's a lot. Like I said, let's talk about what's behind me. I mean, let's switch it up. I've got announcements, but there's no rules. There's no order. I mean, we make the order. So let me get small, okay? I'll get small, and then I'll come back and be big. For some other stuff. There's a file on my desktop that shouldn't be there. Okay. Excuse me. Hello. Yes, great. So look at this. I mean, what did you expect this? Did you expect this? That it's a poster? I showed you some of the lettering on the screen, so maybe you were expecting this. But, you know, in my big folder of fascination, I've got all these wonderful things, and there's a folder of posters, quilt posters. And we may have looked at some quilt posters in the past, but this one is one, God, I mean, did I get it from my friend Jonathan? I'm not sure. But look at it, it's French. It's French. Hang on, let me see. I want to zoom in on this thing. It's from France, from 1975. 1975. So, hang on now. I want to get it so we can zoom in, and I think I still need to pull it up. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to zoom in like this. So, you can see down there, 1870 to 1920. That's the date of the quilt that's on the poster. So, 1870 to 1920. And isn't it wonderful, Kay? I know, right? Collection of Monica Mueller in Zurich. Now, I looked up Monica Mueller, and I found her name. I'm looking at now, in Google Books, I found a hit for a book in 1975. I mean, Amish Quilts, 1870 to 1920, right? Collection Monica Mueller, Zurich. And I think it's it seems to be maybe a book of an exhibition, like a museum catalog. I'm not sure. This is in the big folder. If anybody knows, please let me know. Because what it says here is, hang on, let me get you back here. It says, I don't speak French, Musée d'Art et d'Histoire, 2 Rue Charles Galland, in Geneva, Switzerland? Wait a minute, what? I don't know. Oh my, what if I fell backwards into the green screen? What I just did, folding my legs underneath me, that was a distinct possibility just now. I saw it in a parallel universe that just happened. Anyway, so it seems like maybe this is not a poster. Maybe it isn't a poster at all, but it's a booklet. I'm not sure. Is it fancy as? I've never been to Geneva. Let's look at this. So, yeah, 13 March through the 13th of April. I mean, this is a poster. It's a poster for an exhibit, right? I think so. Hey, Rhonda. But it's just gorgeous. And in the Google Books page, like in the entry, there's nothing available. There was an Abe Books link, but there wasn't anything at Abe Books, and Google Books has a title, a listing, but there's nothing when you click. So I looked for things for you, but really tonight the intro quilt or the intro image is just pretty and beautiful. And if you're intrigued by this, you can go and dig around, see what you can find about this show, about this person and her collection. A few years ago, somebody at the Modern Quilt Guild was asking me about Amish quilt collections, and Sarah Miller is a quilt collector. I believe she's a Mennonite woman. She has quilts, a collection. Of course, Jonathan Holstein has a collection of Amish quilts, and much of his collection is at the International Quilt Museum now. But like personal collectors of Amish quilts, it's just interesting to learn that this woman, Monica Mueller, had or has a collection. So pretty cool, right? And Kelly says, I'm into the Amish quilt regardless of origin. Yeah, pretty cool. Interesting fact about Amish quilts. The exhibit I saw of the Lancaster quilts and the exhibit at the Birmingham Quilt Festival last summer in England with a number of the quilts from the Holstein collection at the International Quilt Museum, a lot of the quilts were machine pieced and hand quilted. And we think of Amish tradition and culture as no electric, right? No, like the machine thing, keeping things plain and simple, and but the treadle machine and all that was very much a part of life there, and is now. I don't know. All I know, and what I wanted to communicate, was that a lot of the quilts that I saw from this time period, the information told me that they were machine pieced and then hand quilted. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, treadle machines. Okay, right on, Nancy. Thank goodness I was not wrong. We play that sound when someone is very smart. Okay, M. Hicks says the Art and History Museum. Oh, the Musée d'Art et d'Histoire. The Art and History Museum in Geneva, right? In Geneva, has over 7,000 exhibits on display, ranging from prehistoric finds to modern paintings. The Musée d'Art opened its doors in 1910. It's the largest art museum in the city of Geneva and home to an extensive collection by the eccentric and distinctive Swiss portraitist Jean-Étienne Lyotard. Big time. Nerd apple. Okay, M. Hicks gets a nerd apple. See, if you subscribe, you get to use all of these really fun emotes. They're nerd apple. Thanks, M. Hicks. And yeah, like, this is fun because we discover stuff together. None of this is a presentation. This is like me going, look at all this cool stuff I found. Let's talk about it. Okay. So that's one thing. Kitty Hannah's still sewing on a treadle. Love that for you. No, but I do love it for you. That's kind of, have you heard, do you use this expression? Love that for you. I think we've talked about it. I mean, it's kind of like, it sounds really sarcastic, and I think a lot of times it is used in a sarcastic way. Like, I'm eating sour cream and onion potato chips. Love that for you. Like, whoa. But anyway, it's kind of fun to say. So I'm going to hide myself so you can see this announcement, because this is an important announcement. Let me see. Let me go away. Goodbye. And I'm going to hide the chat, too, so that you can see what's going on your screen. Ooh, Word and Bird Nerd. You've got info. You've got info on the thing. I'm playing the nerd sound and the graduation cap sound in my mind, because I don't want to overuse it. But you've definitely found the book. That is awesome. It's a 75-page catalog published in French. Oh, okay, published in 75. Okay, published in 1975, but it's the catalog of the exhibit. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So what's on your screen now is an announcement about, it's all prettier than it used to be, right? It's prettier, and it has a bit of a detail on it that Padma suggested, which was great. Yeah, Shelley, exactly. So in a couple weeks, 2 weeks from tonight, actually, the show is going to be really special. When we did the New Year's Eve show this year, we did like a review of some of the stuff that you all have been making, your latest projects, or a quilt that you purchased, or one that you restored, one that you cut up into a quilt coat. Like, it's totally cool. Like, I want you to bring whatever you're working on, or whatever you've been like loving lately. I mean, I want you to send me pictures of it, okay? And it'll be on the show, and it's Quilt Nerds on Parade, right? We're going to talk about what we've been making and what we're doing with quilts. If you're writing something, or you're like, I don't know, I mean, reading something, like, that's fair. Like, if you don't have a project going and you're like, I want to be part of the show, but I don't have a project going, I'm here to tell you, if you're reading a book, or you've read a stack of books, sorry, if you don't have a quilt going and you're not a quilt maker, you send me a picture of that stack of books, okay? Because you know what? You don't have to make quilts to be a quilt nerd. Are you kidding? I mean, some of the best quilt nerds out there never picked up a needle. So if you want to send me that, that's totally cool. And because I want to give back and show what you all have been doing, because we have a Discord, which is really fun. And if you're a subscriber, you get access to the Discord, and it's like a very good Discord, and we hang out and we can share pictures and things when the show isn't on. And there's announcements and special groups, like people are going to shows, we can connect with the Discord. But But this thing is free for everybody. If you want to send me your pictures, do it. Send them to my Twitch email, which is twitch@maryfons.com. And do it by Monday, March 28th, EOD, end of day. I didn't know what that meant when I first started working at not a restaurant. You know, I was like, EOD, end of day. But yeah, I got to get the show put together for Tuesday. So if you send it to me on Tuesday, the Tuesday of the show, it might not make it. So send it to me that day. And then also, Padma had a great suggestion. She said, you know, send a brief description with your picture, you know, under 200 words or so, just so I have something to read, because you know I like to show stuff to you, and then but read something to you. Speak. I like to speak while I'm showing you visuals, you know, like who was it? Was it Brendan? Brendan, who we met at QuiltCon, a bunch of us. He called this a video magazine. That's what he called this show, and I think that's really good. So, hey, Dee Marie. So yeah, send me your stuff and a brief description of what it is, and if it's books, that's all good, man. It's all good, man. I want to know about it. So that's cool. And then, look at this. I have to talk about this because it's happening. I mean, it's all happening soon. Help, I'm in books. So Quiltfolk is something that most people know about. If you don't know about it, it's a company. It's not just a magazine anymore. Quiltfolk's amazing. Go to quiltfolk.com, check it out. I was editor of Quiltfolk magazine for a lot of years, writer for a lot of years, and now I do other stuff with Quiltfolk, okay? So it's just an amazing place for things. And we're doing a block of the month, our first ever block of the month, and it's all based in books. Like, I won't go too far into the whole thing because we've got stuff to do, and I don't want to, and I'm a terrible salesperson. All I can tell you is this is amazing, and there's like a lot of people signed up, and I think that's the best thing I can say about it is that it's very popular. So we're going to do there's a workshop every single month, a live workshop with Jenny Smith and Kay Walsh, who are amazing, and you will make a block each month with their guidance, with their help. There's going to be special guests. So there's like a special guest that comes in each month, or some of the months there will be guests. And I'm going to show up live every month to do a specific like presentation, 10, 15 minutes on a particular thing. And I just wanted to show you like for example, have you ever heard of this book? No Time on My Hands by Grace Snyder. Look at this thing. It's really long, but I have to read it. This is a memoir that was published in 1963. It's a bookmark by a Nebraska quilt maker. No Time on My Hands, and if you Elm Creek, no, it's not an Elm Creek sew along, SJ. But we're going to talk about all that, all that quilts and literature. And anyway, this is a memoir about her life. And I'm going to give you a little hint. So the whole thing kicks off on Saturday. Yeah? Saturday? Yes, the welcome launch party is at noon Central Time on Saturday. You find all the information at quiltfolk.com, okay? And I wanted to mention it because there's still time. The whole block making thing begins next month. So the welcome party, the launch is Saturday. If you can't make it, you can still join the thing. And I'm doing an introduction thing and a quiz. That's right. A quiz with 5 questions. Shelley, quit saying you are a terrible salesperson. Oh, I know. Okay, you're right. Yeah. Okay, you're right. I have to stop saying that. I'm sorry. I have to stop apologizing, right? Anyway, so I'm doing a quiz, a 5-question quiz. And if you're watching the show right now, or you're watching the replay before Saturday, well, lucky you, because I'm going to give you some information on the quiz. I'm going to give you a question and the answer. That's right. It's my quiz. There's no rules. I can tell you. So one of the questions on the quiz is, Nebraska quilt maker wrote a famous memoir. In quilt literature, this is a very famous memoir. No Time on My Hands, and in the book, Grace sort of famously says that she wanted to do 3 things. She was a child. The question is very succinct, but, I don't know. I don't have it pulled up. The question is beautifully written, but the gist is, when she was 7, she said she wanted 3 things in life. And the 3 things that she wanted in life, and I quote, "I wish that I might grow up to make the most beautiful quilts in the world, to marry a cowboy, and to look down on the top of a cloud. At the time I dreamed those dreams and wished those wishes, it seemed impossible that any of them could ever come true." Unquote. But she did all of them. I mean, she made really beautiful quilts, and she married a cowboy, and she flew in a plane. So she did them all, and that's all in this book. And so the question, the multiple choice question, I know I'm like not seeing the chat. Yeah, it costs money, SJ. I'll see what I can do for you. No, I'm kidding. I can't. I don't have that power. But the question, I'm like, okay, what thing did she not want to do? What thing did Grace Snyder not want to accomplish? So it's like, make the most beautiful quilts in the world, marry a cowboy, look down on the top of a cloud, and I think the last choice or the other choice is wrestle an alligator. You know, because I know a lot of people haven't read that book, but it should be obvious. I mean, I feel like you could take a stab at it and you'd get it. So she was manifesting. She had a vision board. So this is my plan. I mean, I'm your librarian for the Patchwork and Prose. That's my, look at this. You know, everybody who's new, this show is like 2 hours long. This is why. Look, Patchwork and Prose, monthly content plan. What do you think this is? What do you think that, who do you think's running this joint? What kind of gin joint you running here? If you want to buy this book, I have an affiliate link because, no, Jaren, exactly. Let's see. No, she did have them. I'm completely out of context, Kelly. I have no idea. So, Honeybee, it's so good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Here's the link. If you want to buy that book through Abe Books, because it's out of print, you have to get it used. quiltnerd.link/Grace Snyder. Whoop, hang on. Yeah, if you buy the book through that link, you know, it's like $4. And I might get some of that money. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. The Abe Books affiliate link is new, and it's fun. Okay. So this Mother Nature, I think I said hi to you. Okay. So I mean, we gotta get going. Let's do this. There's a few other little things to say, but man, I was dragging with my energy. As soon as I get on here, I swear. Okay. Nerds on Parade did it. Patchwork and Prose did it. Let's talk about this quilt. There's a few other things to talk about, like the giveaway and all that. Yeah, exactly. Gin joint. I say that. I don't know where I got it. What kind of gin joint you running here? So I'm on eBay today. I mean, the rabbit hole vibe was strong. It was strong today. I mean, it pulled me in, the rabbit hole. And this is one of the things that I found. And yeah. So what are we looking at? And can we look at it closer? The answer is yes, we can. So this is on eBay now. It's currently on eBay. I have the link for you, which I will, don't read ahead. I'll put it in the chat in just a second. You can fight over it. But actually the entry on YouTube, or the listing on YouTube, tells us that the owner or the seller is away until April 1st. So nobody can get it yet, but if you want to bid on it, you can still. Here's what it says. It's listed as one-of-a-kind, antique, outsider, folk art quilt, vintage African-American, ? I take issue with this listing title, but, you know, let's continue. This is what the listing says. You will not find another one like this. Oh, it's $1,222, by the way. $1,222. Yes, Penny Catherine, indeed it is. Yes, it is. The Force. You will not find another one like this. I do not know its history, but this quilt is certainly unique. 12 images of heads. Let me do that. I want to make sure I'm seeing you. 12 images of heads that are appliqued by machine using a zigzag stitch. Have you ever felt like this person? Yeah. You have? Oh, that's good. Yeah. Me too. Zigzag stitch. Okay. Most of the fabrics are woolens, different textures, colors, and weaves. The backing is an old blanket. I know. Nice number, that price. I know. So it is a little creepy. We're going to come back to the full thing, but she's got detail shots of a few of the blocks, which are really nice. The quality is good. Quilt is quite clean, with some insignificant spots. The worst area is at the top right. Ties are green cotton. You can really see, in this one, you can really see, A, the zigzag stitch, and B, the different materials. I mean, that's a knit. That's like a sweater knit. Yeah, exactly. I love it too, L. Riggs. I love it. Ties are green cotton. He looks mean. He looks real mean. Or maybe mischievous. Binding is the blanket backing turned to the front and zigzag hemmed. There are a few scattered moth holes, but especially in the pink sweater, the knit sweater used in the shirt at the top right, and the neck of the sweater in the image at the bottom corner. That may be one of the images we have. We can go back to it. And she says, you might want to do some restoration in these places. Measures 84 by 66 and is quite heavy. Quilt, we saw this, okay, the sweater that we saw looks like it's got some damage. Might want to do some restoration in these places. Measures 84 by 66 and is quite heavy. Quilt was collected in Ohio and dates from about 1950 to 1960. And this, I don't know why I say she, we don't know, but the seller says, it has been in my own collection for about 25 years. You know? So very, very interesting. So, oh yeah, and this is just, the way the face is sort of turned, and I mean, the placement is really beautiful in this. I think it's really wonderful. So yeah, I mean, I love this quilt. It kind of freaks me out. I mean, some of the faces are they're kind of creepy. You know what I'm saying? This looks like Sherlock Holmes or something, you know? This, tartan plaid or something. Let's take a look at that damage. I mean, I don't know. I think it's marvelous. I don't have the money to spend on it, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, okay, here's some of the sweater stuff that she was talking about. I mean, I don't know. I can't really collect quilts yet. I mean, I don't have the dough and I don't have the space. But you know what kind of quilts I like, and these are they. The puppy, the folk art faces. I'm all about it, man. Let's look at the whole thing again. Look at this lion. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't think I was done. I have a picture. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I've got more. I've got 3 more. There's this one and then 2 more of the detail shots. Kenny, it's not a bad idea. I mean, my mom hasn't purchased quilts very often, but she did just purchase a couple, actually. And I think part of the issue is the storage of it, or this is wonderful. Where to put the things, because collecting quilts is kind of a pain in the butt. I say that, but I mean they're large often. Sometimes if they're these different materials, they wear differently. If like this one's very heavy, you can tell. I mean, God, there's like corduroy on it and suiting and flannel or twill and all that. So they can be really heavy. And vermin and stuff. I mean, I'm giving you all the reasons not to collect quilts, which, oh yeah, here, look at this sweater damage on this. There's a million reasons to collect them. And I was thinking too, I think it was when I was talking to Rod Kirikoff. Yeah, I read an article in Quilter's Digest about this, and then I talked to him about it last month. Like, the role of the collector is really important. It's really important. And I admit I've had thoughts before, not like angry thoughts by any means, but just like, who can collect? Just the question of, like the ethics of quilt making, or the ethics of quilt making and the quilt system in the 21st century. So bear with me, because hang on. And the poll, I'll give you the results of that poll that we did. But like, who collects, who can collect, who does have the space and the money and the time to collect art, and where do they put it, and who gets to enjoy it? Those kinds of questions. And I'm sure there is a huge body of scholarship and a huge world of analysis and criticism and investigation about collecting. I mean, the museum, right? Like, consider the museum, and I can see how things can be sort of complicated, but like, a quilt collection is so important. It's so important to have, I think to have a really brilliant, sorry, I didn't say my thought correctly, to have a collector who can, be discerning and understand sort of a story to put together, it's kind of like editing in a way. It's like, let me get a picture of what's going on here and pick the best examples, pick really engaging content, how can I protect certain things that need protecting or stewardship. And reading that article and talking to Kirikoff, I really kind of got a different sense of collecting and how important it is. So anyway, Padma's got a brilliant idea. What else is new? I missed it. Mary, why don't you see if you can purchase quilts for the Quilt Museum? And have them pay you to do it. Be a buyer for them? That would be amazing. I would love that. It won't, I know that it won't happen because they have, the curator and the directors, and that they're in charge of it. And a lot of people approach them about, like, would you like to buy this, and so forth, and they have such strict criteria and things. But I really love Carolyn Ducey, the woman who does that, who heads it up. So if I was like, can I pick one? She might entertain me. But remember, I probably mentioned this a few times, but when I found that Trump quilt, I think I've shown it on the show before, but I was researching political and campaign quilts, and lordy, I beheld a Trump campaign quilt. I had never seen one. I wasn't looking for it specifically, but like, I bought it. Because I'm like, Carolyn, I called her and I was like, I think this is a thing. I think this is important, because I have never seen a modern day, a Trump campaign quilt. I could hardly believe I was looking at it. And it's the only one I've ever seen. I purchased it. I actually had Eric purchase it because I didn't want my name on it. I'm sorry, but I just didn't. And I got it. And that's the thing, is a lot of people ask the Quilt Museum a lot, all the time about, I have a quilt I think you want. And a lot of times it's just not the case. But that one, she was like, yeah, we want it. Anyway. Yeah. Were they people that she knew in this quilt? Okay. Anyway, Myra says the collectors can enhance and further the interest in the craft while they collect and curate. Yeah, totally. Listen, Kelly, I had to do it. Whoa. Little Bird Stitch says Alice Beasley has a fab Trump Putin quilt. It's on view currently in her show at the CA Heritage Museum. Really? I'm writing that down. Alice Beasley. The thing is, and I don't know about this quilt that you're talking about, Little Bird, but I've seen a lot of political quilts, contemporary ones, especially at Modern Quilt Guild. A lot of folks, will do. There was a lot of Hillary quilts in 2016, a lot of them. But the other side of things, no. So when I saw it, I was like, that's a piece of history, man. Okay, now what? Oh my God. I have such fun things. I have fun things to share with you. Okay. What do we do next? Okay. We're going to do this. Okay. So I keep talking about a giveaway. And I got to give you the link. I'm sorry, for the quilt, for the Folk Art Faces quilt. If you want to get it. You might have already found it. You guys are pretty good. Oh, that's the eBay link for that quilt. Okay. I keep talking about a giveaway that I want to do. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to tell you about this program, Quilts for Nepal, or Quilts for Kids Nepal. And this is what's inspired the giveaway. I've shown you the quilt that I'm going to be giving away in bits and pieces. And, I think I've shown it to you twice, like pulled the quilt up from its place over there in that box, to show you, so you have a sense of what it is. But now I'm going to tell you about the organization and this cool thing, because the idea is that we did a giveaway for our 100th show. Oh no, is that me? Is that am I dinging something? So we did a giveaway for the 100th show last month, and we're getting close to 200 subscribers. That's really exciting. It's like amazing to me, and so I'm so grateful for that. And so when we hit 200 subscribers, I'm going to give away this quilt, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And it's a quilt that was made in Nepal through this organization, Quilts for Kids Nepal. Now, Quilts for Kids Nepal is not affiliated with Quilts for Kids. Oh, was it eBay notifications? Really? Was it really? Oh, it's on my phone. Ew. If it does it again, I'll run over and get it. I thought I put it in airplane mode, but I didn't. So Quilts for Kids is an organization that there's a Quilts for Kids in the United States, and obviously, Quilts for Kids Nepal founded, themselves, and Quilts for Kids founded, and it's the same name, but no one sued each other, which is good, but they're different. They're not affiliated with each other. So Quilts for Kids Nepal, I was researching something. It's how I find all this stuff. Sometimes I remember where I found something or what led me to a thing, but most of the time I don't know. And I came across this nonprofit. It's not an NGO, and we're going to watch a couple videos about this so the people involved can talk about it. And so I will let them do that. But when I saw these quilts and learned about all this, I was just like, I love it. And I bought one of the big quilts, and they're made in Nepal, and I'm going to read to you about it from the website, and then we'll look at some video. Okay. So the giveaway, if I haven't been clear about it yet, I am on 5 hours of sleep. Daylight savings time hit me last night. It was brutal. The quilt that I'm going to give away when we hit 200 subscribers is one of the quilts from Quilts for Kids Nepal, and you're going to love it. Okay. So Quilts for Kids Nepal is a microfinance project based in Kathmandu, Nepal. Its mission is to provide work for economically challenged women and to finance education for underprivileged children. Founded in 2006, the project operates in an encampment of Indian street beggars located in a large field in the Budhanath neighborhood of Kathmandu. 100% of your donation to Quilts for Kids Nepal goes to fund school tuition, school uniforms, shoes, pencils, books, and backpacks for the kids, or to supporting women's projects. Oh, great. Oh, wow. Tani, you worked for an NGO who worked in Nepal, visited in 2010. Wow. I am very interested in going there. Very interested. Through Quilts for Kids Nepal, many young women are learning traditional quilt making skills and finding out for the first time the real value of their own creativity. To support the women of Quilts for Kids Nepal, make a donation today. Okay, so this is from their website. That money will be used to purchase cloth and thread and help pay the women's salaries. You got it, Ivana. I mean, it's just the quilts are so great. So these are images from their website, but then, and like I said, there's video to show you. The quilts are so great. And I should have, where is the big one that I have? I'll take a picture of it and share it with you on the Discord. It's really huge, but there's standard ones that they make, and so I can show you on the website. And that's one of the things I want to do is I pulled a bunch of pictures, but I also just want to show you the shopping page. You know, there's like a bunch of really great quilts for sale, so I just show it to you. So, but these are some of the people. I think it's on the old website. They have a new one. It's Quilts for Kids Nepal, I think is going to get you there. And I'll put the link in the chat. But they have an old website. It directs you to the new one. But I believe it's on the old website that they have these pictures of people. Yeah, right. Exactly. They have pictures of people who bought quilts. And the pictures are so great. I love this guy. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I love it. And the quilts, to me, they're very, you know, they have that abstraction going on. They're just so colorful. And yeah, and the cause is really, really good. The project. I love this one. I think it's really wonderful. So, and they don't have like stories with these people and their quilts. It's just like this really great slideshow of, thanks, Word Nerd. Thank you. The mods, man, the mods. Thank you, mods. You're awesome. Yeah, I've just got a few more, and then we'll look at the video. The quilt, yeah, the quilts have these prairie points. I mean, are they prairie points or petty points? I mean, I know that they're like traditional. That's like a traditional Indian technique or feature. I've seen that kind of border style, that embellishment, if you will, like in Raleigh quilts and quilts from Uzbekistan, and so that's a feature that's often there. These little points, and they feel so good. They're kind of like ruffly, you know. You can like run your fingers over the edge and feel them, and they feel really good. And yeah, and they're thin. They're not fluffy. They have batting in them. Do they have batting in them? I'm trying to think. They've got like a couple more. Look at this little shorty. Look at him. Oh, he's so cute. I don't know. I just love his little face. Anyway, okay. I think that's it. Oops. Yeah, this is the last one. Okay. So let's watch some video about these folks. There's two. One is 2 minutes, and the other one is 2 minutes and 37 seconds. And okay, so let's check it out, and then we'll look at the website, and you can get excited about what the giveaway is. Oh boy! All right, here we go.
Quilts for Kids Nepal is a microfinance project that operates in the Bodhanath neighborhood of Kathmandu. We started about 10 years ago, and our mission is to provide work for economically challenged women in this community and to sponsor the education of kids who would otherwise be begging on the streets of Kathmandu. Our product is very simple. We make quilts. We make beautiful handmade quilts that these women have been stitching for generations. Their grandmothers taught them how to stitch, and they're teaching their children, but this is giving them an opportunity to turn that beautiful skill into a way of earning a living for themselves and for their families. This year, we have 58 children in school, and about 30 women who are earning a living for themselves, and we're giving kids the opportunity for a bright future. 2016 has been an exceptional year for Quilts for Kids Nepal. In spite of the earthquake that occurred last year, the community has rebounded, it's shifted to a new location, and we have a brand new school. We have a record number of kids in school this year, 58 kids, and they're going to a school with more than 600 children. that allows them to integrate well and to make a lot of new friends. We also have some big news, and that is that we launched an endowment fund that will allow the project to go on in perpetuity. So it's been a fantastic year for Quilts for Kids Nepal, and we thank all of our sponsors and friends from around the world who have made it a big success.
Woohoo! Oh. Oh my God, sorry. Woo! Laughing children on a quilt. Laughing children on a quilt? Okay, I am done. All right, so, okay, so then here's another. Sorry. I think, oh, interesting. That's a different one. Well, we might watch that one too. But here's this one. Oh, wait, hold on. Where's my thing? Sorry, guys. I got up to get something, and that's what I get when I do that. Okay, here we go. So this one is a little bit longer, and it's now when you hear the sound on this one it's fine, but there's a lot going on. She's at a workshop, this woman, so there's some noise in the background that makes it a little hard to hear at times, but her video is really good, so we're gonna watch this one next. Okay, let me see what's going on in the chat. Hang on. The women of Nepal, Tani says, make me so humble. Please support them any way you can. Kenny says they're also very reasonably priced. Agreed. And we're going to take a look at them soon. Kelly, you got to go eat. Kelly, you got to eat. Padma says, I am watching Twitch on my computer, writing this in the chat on my phone, while I have my remote control in my other hand, looking up something relevant on TV. Girl, like, I mean, I think we all are very good at managing our devices. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, Raffle's here. Yippee! Wait, yes, but also this. Stitching heals the soul. I'm glad you're here, Raffle. And could save your life. Joyous fibers. You said it. You said it. And Raffle Waffle, you're so like, man, everybody's so cool here. I don't know. I dig y'all. And the colors, exactly. Okay, so now let's hear from this lady. Okay. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say, sorry, is that I haven't, told Quilts for Nepal, the Quilts for Kids Nepal that we're doing this. Like, I purchased this quilt a while ago, and I was like, I'm gonna do a giveaway with this. And that was a while ago. I think it was last year. And I've just been waiting for like, what is it, what is this for? Is it on like Instagram or something? But I'm so glad, like, this is where I want to do it, when we get to 200 subscribers. And but I haven't told them that I'm doing this. Like, I gotta let them know. You let them know. Maybe if you buy a quilt, you can be like, hey, heard about it on this, because maybe we can help more, or, do something. Yeah, and if we ever do interviews or anything on the show, which is in the future, one thing at a time, but we totally talk to these people, see how it's going, All right. And Padma says, and then we'll go to this video, speaking of prairie points, I was watching Quilty, oh God, with Mary Fons, interviewing Emily Lang. She's so talented. She's so talented. Maybe if somebody could tag, I think it's Mommy's Nap Time is her Instagram. Tell her she's getting some praise on the Quilt Nerd show. She might be excited to hear it because she's so talented. She uses prairie points, Padma says, as her signature. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I'm interested in adding those onto a quilt. Well, 1,000%. And Emily is, she's so good at making quilts. Okay, let's hear what she's got to say. Hold on. I don't know if they give her name below. No, they don't. So we don't know her name. We might learn it, but here we go. A minute.
Hello, my name is Verilyn. I come from a mountain city called Baguio, and my country is the fun country of the Philippines. I'm here in Boda at the camp, as you can see, to help the women improve their quilting skills. It's been a fun job because the ladies are very interested in what they're doing. very noble cause. It is not a development project. It is not an NGO as you traditionally call it. And it's a social enterprise, which means the social part of it is that there are people who are challenged in many ways, who are benefited from the project. And it's like a people-to-people kind of project. So as you can see later in this video, you can see the women working hard, doing the quilts
She's great.
and having fun at the same time. This is a great way to make use of their time. And of course, the end of all of these activities is to try to get more children, especially more girls, into a good and solid education.
So great, right? And check it out. I grabbed my quilt. Oh, okay, look at that one. Look, you see that one? You like that one? Yeah? You like that? You like that? You like those prairie points? Because the quilt that I'm giving away is very much like that one. It's not exactly, because they're all a little bit different, but you'll see. Yeah. This is mine. This is the one I have. Ah, yay! I liked what that lady had to say. You know, it made me feel good about the stuff, because you know, there's lots of programs, and you know, are they, you know, is it what you want to spend time on, give money to, or not? You know, sometimes they look good, but maybe they're not so great. Let me just see. You know what? Let's play one more. It's under 2 minutes, and this looks really good. And I didn't see this one before, and I think they're showing some like personal stories. Is that cool? We can watch another one, right? Karen, did I see you come in? I don't know, but I'm glad you're here. Okay, I'm gonna stay on the screen. I'm gonna get a little bit smaller, but I don't want to. You know, we have to make this transformative. You know, we don't just want to just watch their video without transforming it.
Hello and namaste. I'm James Hopkins, the Director of Quilts for Kids Nepal. It's 2020, and we're looking back on how...
This is good, because, you know, I was a little worried, because I was like, I don't know. I mean, anyway, good. I'm glad this is a little bit more recent. Still 2 years ago. We should still give them money. Okay.
Quilts for Kids has done in the past year, and I'd have to say it's been one of our most successful years ever.
Hey, all right.
We've had a record number of kids in school, 63 girls and boys.
So great.
We have about 25 women making beautiful hand-stitched quilts. And our big success is, after 14 years of working in this community, our oldest student graduated from high school and is now attending college in the United States.
Oh my God! What?
Even 5 years ago, that would have been an unthinkable thing to have happened in this community. But slowly, things are changing in this community. Rather than getting married at the age of 13, many of these girls are growing up, getting a good education, going on to secondary school, and having dreams of becoming nurses, doctors, airline pilots, and that sort of thing. So we feel like we're having an impact in this community, and it's only possible through the support of our friends from around the world, from Mexico to Japan, right here in Kathmandu, across Europe and in the United States. Many of our friends are sending donations, purchasing quilts, and doing what they can to change things in this community. It's having an impact, and here at the beginning of 2020, we wanted to let everyone know how grateful we are and wish you all a happy new year, and we hope to see you in Kathmandu.
Cool. Like, oh, that's great. I love those guys at that quilt shop. Okay, so many things are going on. Many things are happening. So hang on now. Let me pull up the Quilts for Kids. At least, oh yeah, the website. Okay. So that was beautiful. I'm sure, don't you think that was probably filmed maybe right before the pandemic? You know? Because that was 2020. I mean, I just wonder. It hit me when he was talking and he said 2020 or, it's been a great year or something like that. And I just wonder, I don't know. There's no way to tell unless we look at, I guess when they posted the video, but that doesn't necessarily tell us. So yeah, it's so great, right? It is nice and soft. And there is not any batting. There's, no, there's not. There's no batting in the quilts. It's just, and they're big stitch. It's great. And you'll see the one I got, because like I said, there's these standard ones, and you can see which one I got. Now, Padma had a really good idea. Hey, you could do raffles too. We could buy a raffle ticket and have a drawing to win a prize to support the channel. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I mean, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. I was like, 200 subscribers, that's a milestone. Like, is a raffle better? Because then, it is kind of a raffle. Anyway, you know what, Padma? Discord message me your thoughts or email me your thoughts or something, because right now, like, I think that's a great idea, and I want to figure out how to do this, and yeah, support the channel and support them. A raffle is a great idea. Send me your thoughts, because that's a great idea. And I'd like to think about it and figure it out, So, okay, let's take a look at the website, because like Kenny said, these are really, they make sense. I think the prices do. And the quilts are so great. And so, yeah, I pulled together some, is this right? Wait, yeah. I pulled together some pictures for you, but I'd rather just sort of shop with you online. And I'm not going to do I'm going to do this. Okay. So here's the homepage, and you can learn more about the mission, read all about it. You should. Raffles are illegal in Utah. Wait, can't call it a raffle without a permit. Good God. This is crazy. Oh yeah, Word and Bird Nerd. I'm so glad you asked. They do have labels. Look. Hang on, let me get it. Look at that. It's got the name and the quilt number. Hand stitched with love. My quilt was made by Prakashad Kaur. No, it doesn't have a date on it. Interesting. Well, I'm sure it can be. You can give a circa date. Okay, so look, so there's these different categories, okay? There are fancy quilts, Punjabi quilts, baby quilts. It's considered gambling. Unbelievable. I didn't know. And classic quilts, okay? So let's take a look at the classics, because that's one of the ones I got, I'm pretty sure. So these are the classic quilts that are available for purchase, okay? And it says, originally made by mothers as part of their daughter's dowry, our classic quilts are part of the hand-stitching tradition of India, which has existed for hundreds of years. So, I mean, aren't these great? They're so beautiful. And so these are, the classic designs. I don't see my quilt here, but maybe we will. Yep, that's exactly what mine looks like when it's folded up, or it's similar to that. And 75 by 85. So they're big, y'all. They're big. And the price is $270 for the big one, which to me, I don't know. To me, I'm with Kenny. I think it sounds right. I mean, that's a fine price. I purchased mine. I forget how much the one I got was, but comparable, right? So it's a bedspread. It's a quilt, of course, but it's kind of that, bedspread kind of vibe in terms of just being like almost a summer weight kind of quilt without the batting. It says hand-stitched in Kathmandu, Nepal, made from locally purchased, donated, or upcycled materials, 2-layer design with light batting inside. Okay, look, you know what? I have done this before. I do know what I'm talking about, but I really didn't feel, I really don't feel batting in here, but maybe the fabric is just thinner than it feels like, you know, and I don't know. It's great. It's great. Whatever it is. Okay, so 270. And then there's these different ones. Look at this. Classic quilt. Pink Village Blast. Oh, that's awesome. Pink Village Blast indeed. It looks like ice cream or something. Really nice. Really nice. Ah, amazing. The raffles. Oh, we could call it something else, Ivana. Call it something else, she says. No, I would totally do. We could, can't we do a drawing? I don't know. We'll figure it out. This is great. Remembering Home. They all have names. Remembering Home. Beautiful. Okay, what else? But what else do we have? We have fancy quilts. So those were the classics. These are the fancies. Oh, okay. This is great. So this one, the Punjabi Peacock, I think this one has replaced the one that I got, which has a camel in the center. It is an animal quilt, of course, because you know what I like. Yeah, it's probably another kind of batting. A different kind of material, right? Not super puffy. So this is $290. So this one was, just about $300. Loops for wall hanging. Oh yeah, I forgot that part. I'm sure this one has them too, but the one that I'm giving away has loops for wall hanging. And look at the corner of my quilt. It has this which is very traditional style, but there's this larger corner to it. So cool. So this is 75 by 85. Tibetan Gaw, Gaw. Does anybody know what that might be? It looks like a house. I don't know. Could be a mountain. Not sure. Hey, a nun maker. Hey, you know what? I'm glad you got to spend time with your brother. Lily Ann, hi. Yeah, it could be. It could be a sort of a flannel. Yeah. Interesting. What if we did a raffle and I was fined a lot of money? It'd be like, so that donation I was going to give to Quilts for Nepal, anyway, so these are the fancy quilts. This is a butterfly. Fancy quilt Flutterby. It's called Flutterby. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So there's a couple other categories here that we're going to look at, including the kids quilt, which is the one I have to give away. Not through a raffle, of course, but through a enjoyable game that we might play where no money will exchange hands. Okay, it's coming soon. We're currently updating our inventory and we'll have Punjabi quilts available for purchase soon. Thanks for your patience. Our newest design, Punjabi quilts, are hand-stitched in Punjab, India, and feature bold colors and unique Indian textiles. I'm pretty sure they have had these before, that they've just run out. It's not necessarily something that's coming soon for the first time. I feel like I saw them before. But anyway, okay, so here are the baby quilts. And this is the kind that I bought because I loved it, and I thought I might hang it up on my wall. And then when I got it, I was like, this could be a giveaway, and I think I'm gonna buy another one. I bought the big one, but the one I have is similar, very similar to. Hang on. It's similar to this one, but it's got a blue. Well, hang on. There's a better picture of this one. It's this style though. Hang on. I think it's this one. Where's Waldo? Oh, it's so cute. But it's got a blue border. So I kind of like the colors of this one even better. I know, I love them too. It's a stupa. Interesting, Padma. What is that? What is a stupa? So here's the quilt. It's got its tag on it, and then its label on it. I know. I should have taken pictures of it. I will. I'll take pictures of the quilt. I gotta be honest. I forgot. I forgot. But it's just like this one, only it's got a blue border. And I like it even better because it's even a little more colorful than the one you're seeing. I don't know. It's great. It's really great. And there's a filter on the camera that I have, so the picture that you see will really show it. I'm sorry. I can't believe I haven't taken a picture yet. There's also this really gushy fabric on the back, just like really, it's a baby quilt. I mean, it's so sweet. You could definitely give it to a baby, and that baby would like this. That baby. Oh, and it's really, I mean, the batting is really, can you hear it? Can we do some ASMR? Wait. I'm going to do the prairie points. Hang on. I don't know. Hey, sometimes I listen to ASMR to go to sleep, but I don't really fall asleep. It's too interesting. I'm like, what's happening? Okay, I can't throw this on the floor. I think that would be a bad thing to do with a giveaway, so hang on one second. A minute. Okay. So that's the deal. Did the ASMR not, did it not go? Oh yeah, my chip bag. Sorry. I won't ever do it. I won't. So anyway, so you got the idea. Oh, this is great. This is a great one. I like this one a lot. I like that one a lot. Oh, it's ducks on it. Look, there's ducks on. Oh, I'm telling you, when there's an animal, hey, stop it. Why is it doing that? I can't zoom in. I don't know why, you guys, but I can't. When there's an animal on a quilt, I'm a sucker for it. Look at this. And if you buy it, you help a child, a young female child, go to school and perhaps to college one day. Oh my God. That's a really good one. If I was watching this show, I would be like, bye. I would probably go get it. It's just great. I love those pinwheels. They're wonderful. Yeah, so they're $90. They're $90. And I'll be giving one away. And it seems like, when we hit 200 subscribers, perhaps that is the way that the giveaway will be, as stated. There may be a better way to do it, but the idea is just like the last giveaway, where there's a randomizer. It takes the name of the subscribers, puts them into a thing, and then the name is drawn by Eric, because I want to make sure I don't screw it up. I would say to all of you who are watching now and on the replay, you get a free subscription with Amazon Prime if you're an Amazon Prime member. So this really costs nothing. If you subscribe with your Amazon account to this show, you're in. And make sure, too, I thought of this today, if you think you're subscribed, check, because you have to do the Amazon thing each month. It doesn't just automatically drop you into the Quilt Nerd Club. So make sure you are subscribed, because you might think you are, but what if you're not? And we'll get there. Where are we at? I gotta see. Hey, Quirk Quilts, you're just in time. You're in time for the fun. Well, I mean, we've been having some fun, but there's a lot more to come. And we are at 166 subscribers. So, I don't know. If a few people have let anything lapse, jump back on. And, I mean, this thing, we could be drawing next week. Or we could be drawing next year. This is in your hands. But I do hope you will subscribe to the show. So, okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to show you some beautiful things and read something that's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. You just can't leave. You can't leave. So I'll be right back, and I don't know if the music's going to play or not, but either way, very quick, extremely fast break. the music went away so quickly. A new groove, right? Very white of me. A new groove. It's got a good beat. You can dance to it. Okay, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you're new here, welcome to Quilt Nerd. We nerd out on quilts. It's pretty simple. And so the first half of the show, I think it was pretty. It was pretty good. We had a good time. And so now in this last segment, I'm gonna show you some really pretty quilts and read something to you. It's short. Oh no, does it work? No, it doesn't. Oh, what if I did this? Does this work? Nah. Well, a little. So this is from Keeping It All Together, the not just for quilt makers coping book. Now, I am an Abe Books affiliate, and I looked for this book. Now, you all are very good. You're very, very, very good at finding things on the internet. So you might be able to find this. Let me tell you that this book is by a woman named Jean Ray Laurie. I like that song too, Holmes. But does Feandor like it? That's what we need to know. It's Jean Ray Laurie. She's very, very important person in the history of quilts in America and the history of art and textile art and feminism. And I keep not doing Jean Ray Laurie a segment on this show because it's like the whole show. Like, I think the best thing to do with Jean Ray Laurie, this person who passed away within the last 10 years, I believe, the thing to do is to do what makes sense, which is to see her drop into the show from time to time, because she touched so many parts of the quilt story in the United States and beyond in the second half of the 20th century, right? So she's a person of consequence. So here's the thing. Oh, okay. So thank you, Feandor. Good. I'm glad. So it's $75 on Amazon, says Word and Birdner. Now, one thing to note is that this book, Keeping It All Together, is different. It's different from Getting It All Together. And I have a copy of Getting It All Together over there in the stack, but it's buried, so I didn't pull it out. But that's a different book. This is, and I'm sure you found it, Word and Bird Nerd, and I'm not surprised that it would be a lot. This is like a slender volume. It's just 50 pages or so. So it's it's almost like a chapbook. It really is like a chapbook. I hadn't thought about it like that. And here's what this is. So I'm just going to jump in here and tell you, just kind of start. So this is the introduction to this book, which again is like a chapbook. It's just 50 pages. It's, you can wad it up and put it in your pocket. Yes, exactly. Word and Bird Nerd, exactly. So this is the introduction by Bonnie Lehman, editor, Quilter's Newsletter Magazine. Introduction. How do you find time for quilting in your busy life? How do you get the most out of quilt classes you take, books you read, or shows you see? Hang on. I'm going to pull up this, and I'm just going to do some nice different background while I go into this chapter, okay? How do you sustain your creativity after years of quilting? And how do you grow in your quilt art and craft? How do you do your best work? How do you keep up your energy and your visibility? How do you make the most of your ideas? Keep track of where you're headed as a quilter and where you've been. How? By asking, talking, looking, listening, writing, taking charge, playing, moving, keeping supplied, and working. Jean Ray Laurie tells us this. Her answers are in the 10 delightful, entertaining, informative chapters reprinted here from her series in Quilter's Newsletter Magazine. This is a book written for quilt makers, but it will be helpful to any craftsperson who wants to pull herself together and keep it all together. It contains invaluable information for the woman who takes herself and her craft seriously. And perhaps more important, it provides concrete advice for the woman who wants to take herself seriously but lacks confidence. Positive and uplifting, this book will encourage and inspire as it teaches. And Jean's insights and experiences presented here are lessons we won't soon forget. Sincerely, Bonnie Lehman. She didn't say sincerely, but yes, exactly. Stop reading ahead. You stop reading ahead. So, yeah. So those things that I listed, and this is for everyone, however they identify gender-wise, this is great advice in this little chapbook. And as you heard, this is all in Quilter's Newsletter magazine too. So if we're ever doing a Quilter's Newsletter Friday and Jean's column appeared in that issue, like, we're reading it. But these things that I listed, you know, Bonnie says, how do we do all the things we want to do? By asking, talking, looking, listening, writing, taking charge, playing, moving, keeping supplied, and working. And those are the very brief little chapters in this book. And I'm going to read 2 of them to you. Yeah, I'm going to read 2 of them to you as we look at some of these lovely things. This is not, you know, the 2-hour show, that's what it's going to be tonight, you know? It's not going to be an epic, I don't know why. I don't know. I'm giving you an idea. Because you know what? I got to tell you something. Let me tell you something. Eric, I love when Eric reads to me. I think I mentioned this a long time ago. Bye, Robin's Nest. Go get some food. So, a song. When Eric reads to me, I love for him to read me something, and he likes to read to me, and vice versa. But I like to know what I'm getting into, you know? Probably have told you that many times, but it's like, one time he started reading me something, it was great, but it was really long, and I didn't know, you know, it's like, well, good God, how long is it? And then you feel, you know, rude, because it's like, is this almost done? Like, I love it, but like, what did I get myself into here? So you got yourself into about, I don't know, but it's, you know, you're fine. I take care of you. You know I do. So the things that I'm going to show you are just, let me get small. I almost forgot. How about my small? So, you know, I'm looking around and online, and I went to some auction sites, which was very interesting today because I found some really interesting things today, like that quilt that we talked about earlier, the Faces quilt. And I found these at an auction site. Where are they? They're in my notes. It's in my notes. I found through Barnaby's. If you want to know, I can find them for you. But there's so many auction sites, and a lot of the auction sites online are like clearinghouses almost. It's like there's an auction site that shows all the stuff on all the auction sites. Like I think invaluable.com is like that. And so, good night, Robin. And did I already say goodbye? I think maybe I did. Aggregate sites, exactly. And they're pretty cool. They really go on and on. So you can kind of lose track of where you found something. But these were really interesting to me. And they were listed as 2 doll quilts. That was the listing. And I really liked these a lot. I think they're nice. I have a lot of different photos of them. The site was good with that part of this. And, you know, I'm totally down to never talk about quilt clothes again, not because I have any different position on the matter or that I wouldn't change a thing, but I'm just tired of talking about it. Like, I'm just... However, what's interesting about these 2 pieces is that this one, for example, this is a pretty beat up piece of work here. Look, it's fully torn down here. This is not going to make it much longer, right? It's bound for the bin. But the way it's framed and what it is, look at the zigzag border on this. It's really lovely. There's this pink, and then this is faded in this way, and then the flower sort of rosette in the middle. The way it's faded, the thing is about this that I like a lot is someone had an eye for this moment, if you will, in the quilt. So there was this quilt, and it was really beat up, and it wasn't going to make it, and it was maybe going to get thrown away, whatever. And it was cut up. But there's a certain, like you see that the designers who make the quilt clothes, who cut up the quilts, the antique and vintage quilts to make clothes, they're clearly talented. I mean, like, I said that in the video I made. Like, obviously, like, you're really good at this. And then the clothes, so many of them are really beautiful. So these are designers, and they're really good at what they do. And the ones who are very successful are really good at what they do. And to me, I see this, and I'm like, well, hell yeah. Like, the designer's eye, somebody was like, And then they put it in this lovely frame, this narrow wood. I don't know, man. I'm just like my sort of like art person, my gallerist self is coming out and saying, oh, yes, well. And what's interesting about this, and now I'm going to show you the pictures and read to you from Jean Ray Laurie's wonderful little text while I do. But you'll see this, and I have to tell you now because you'd be confused if I didn't. These are being auctioned, but this was art that was at the First National Bank of Chicago. So this was art that was framed. It was a part of a corporate collection. Same with this one. Look at this. Hang on. Where's the thing? Look at this. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Damn it. Bank One. Like this is like a Bank One. Agreed, Kenny. Oh my God, Ivy, your sister's Barbie quilt in the 1960s. I love it. Raffle, I mean, I'm telling you, this is good. I mean, I hadn't had this as a suggestion for, what to do with these old quilts, but that looks amazing. It really does. It really does. And what's interesting is if all of the quilts in a 12 block quilt, were pretty great, you want to take somebody's labor and make it into something else and sell it. And amen. Like, take something that is falling apart and upcycle it, man. Do it. But can you make it more accessible to everyone? I'm not challenging, I'm literally asking the question, like, how can we take this work and honor it in a way that, just like a quilt, can serve more people than just one person who can wear it for a season or for a while before it falls apart, or one person who can wear it because it's their size, but nobody else can. Art is everyone's size. There's no size, there's no small, medium, large required for something like this. And I don't know, I think it's kind of an interesting thing, So, Jill, Alex, I have a couple antique quilt pieces I bought framed. I think it's a really compelling idea, Kenny, I thought about opening an inn in Hamilton, Missouri, and putting a framed antique quilt in each guest room. Oh my God, yes! I mean, it could be the whole theme of the place, Ooh. What if you had, like, I'm assuming you're going to have a bar, obviously. But what if you had some fabulous, or the counter, the hostess counter, the check-in desk. What if you found a really beat up but beautiful old quilt and you sealed it, right, under, plexiglass doesn't sound quite as sexy as I'm thinking, but like, what if it was underneath, it was a clear, like, lucite kind of thing and the quilt was inside. Could be very hot. Resin, thank you. Okay. So this is what I'm going to read 2 of these little columns, basically, okay, from Jean, as we look at these things, because they're beautiful, and that's what we do here. That's it. Okay, I'm going to read to you maybe a surprise, maybe a curveball. I'm going to read you the writing column. Keep writing. Yeah. These are very short. They're very short. But Jean's so good. Her writing is so great. Okay. It's a meditation. That's what we're doing. Okay. Jean says, in Van Gogh's paintings, the air always seems full of things. Lines swirl and undulate, suggesting that space is chock full of activity and that it has a life of its own. Surely the air above our own heads must be similarly crammed. Thoughts, ideas, feelings must leak. Thoughts, ideas, feelings, attitudes, and concerns of unending variety must leak from our brains and dissipate into the air. But not all of them get away. We retain a few, and they emerge through our mouths in conversation. That makes something more real out of these nebulous, vague thoughts. To make them even more real, to make them tangible and concrete, we need to write them down and give evidence of their existence, just as friend Vincent did in his paintings. Putting thoughts and ideas into words gives them importance and validity. Dickie Miller, who was in my 3rd grade class, once wrote me a note saying, "I love you better than Gloria." Well, I knew Gloria didn't love me at all, so I was pretty sure he meant he liked me. Here was tangible proof that Gloria, even with her long black braids and her new powder blue dress, was not more beloved than I, by Dickie at least. How wonderful that note was. Had he just said it, I would have assumed I'd misunderstood. Look at the edges of this, I love it. Or I'd have thought he was in reality saying this to Eleanor, who was standing just behind me. Or it could have been a mean joke that Gloria and Dickie were perpetrating on me, but no, not so. This was his handwriting, and it was addressed to me. It was probably verifiable. It was certainly positive evidence. That written note assumed magical properties. If I had shredded it into my Wheaties, I could have consumed it, and the message would have become part of me. If you are what you eat, I could become the note. It would have been more of a breakfast of champions than Jack Armstrong ever dreamed of. I had a totally new view of the written word. I started a diary. I have been writing in one form or another ever since. Anyone dealing with ideas finds writing a valuable tool. If you are designing, you're dealing with ideas. And if you're making quilts, you're designing. Even if you've never written very much before, start now. It's a good time to begin. Write down what quilts you want to make. If your beginning writing is limited to lists, that's okay. Once you commit your wishes or goals or thoughts to the written word, they become more real and accessible. You may find that you are more likely to do the things that you have listed in writing. A quilting journal is a most valuable tool. It can include your responses to shows, reactions to works you've seen, notations, names, dates, and quilters. Addresses, titles, and information of all kinds might be included. It might be helpful to jot down shopping information. Look how dirty this is. Sorry. I mean, look, it's filthy, right? It's could be classified as filthy, and it's wonderful. Perhaps one of the most rewarding kinds of, I'm skipping some of it. Perhaps one of the most rewarding kinds of writing is our correspondence with other quilters. Many of us work alone in some degree of isolation for hours at a time. And by the way, I know writing and chat and commenting and stuff on the internet is not the same. It's not what she means. But correspondence, I do think this is correspondence. Okay? Exactly, Kenny. Many of us work alone in some degree of isolation for hours at a time. We need contact with other women of similar obsessions, other people of similar obsessions, and correspondence can provide that in part. We need feedback, input, and exchange. When you have a response to a quilt, she said, in a show, write a note to the quilter. Isn't that a great idea? It'll be valued even more than the verbal response since she can read it over and over. Then that person can file it away with her I Love You Better Than Gloria collection. She may even write your comments in her journal. Oh. Isn't she great? Jean Ray Laurie is so great. I mean, I think she's kind of like, I don't know, like my like spiritual like aunt or something, you know? It's so good. Isn't it good? It's so good. And look, these pieces they're framed. I mean, they're properly framed. Like, So wait a minute. Who are the art people here? You wait, so on Positive Threads booked tickets to see Beyond Van Gogh at the Hamilton Art Gallery, and Kenny mentioned Missouri, and I think about Hamilton, Missouri, and I think you actually did say, wait a minute, you did say Hamilton, Missouri, didn't you? Did you, Kenny? Did you? You did. Okay, excuse me. When I say that this show gets freaky, what I mean is this. Kenny was like, I'm going to open an inn in Hamilton, Missouri with quilts on the wall. And then I'm like, awesome, let me read you this completely like not related thing. And she talks about Van Gogh. And what she's writing isn't related to what I'm showing you on the screen. I just picked some stuff. And we're talking about framing quilts. And then, the thing that I'm reading, she talks about Van Gogh. And someone just bought tickets to a Van Gogh exhibit. I'm letting it play through, and I'm not going to even... It's weird. And it's wonderfully weird. I love it. This stuff happens all the time. It's very strange in the best way. Okay, so I've got 2 more quilts while I read the second one, and I love these. So these are 2 more framed quilts that are for sale. Okay. I agree, Kenny, honestly, I really think that that's pretty good. It's a really good idea. And by the way, like, I am sure, the Doan family and Jenny, you know what, I think that they would be so thrilled because they run that kind of quilt thing, right, in Hamilton, Missouri, the Missouri Star Quilt Company. A rising tide raises all ships or something, or all boats. There's 2 quilt stores or quilt shops in Winterset or something. Some people think like, oh no, it's competition, but really it's just more awesome stuff to do in a place. I don't need to tell you this, and I'm probably not making a lot of sense because I'm kind of overwhelmed by the content in this book and the weirdness of this show that I love. Okay, so this is the second bit, and then of Jean Ray Laurie. Okay, this is from the Keep Working chapter. Okay, I love these 2. These are great. Jean writes, "It is always easy to stick to our work when things are going well. It's when things are not going well that we separate the dedicated quilter from the fair weather quilter. The fair weather person has bridge on Tuesday, golf on Thursday, and nothing to do on Wednesday afternoon, so she quilts. The dedicated quilter experiences something closer to obsession, a state which the mind is haunted by an overwhelming preoccupation with quilts to be. Part of our passion for quilting has to do with heading off into the unknown or sailing uncharted waters. We work feverishly to complete a few blocks so we can place them together to see how they are going to work. During this exciting stage, it's easy to neglect all else to find time to sew. It seems to me that this is what we need to do more of, to give in to our impulses, to follow the urges that crop up, to pursue the obsessions. Several years ago, I went through a period of being very bothered by the fact that much of my work was decorative, particularly the wall pieces and some of the quilts. I fought it. I tried hard to do things that were less decorative, more geometric, more abstract. My artist friends tended to peer down the grand incline of their noses, even at the word decorative. So I was determined to avoid it. Finally, one day, it seemed ridiculous. I was working against a tendency that was very persistent. So I said to myself aloud, "Jean, you are a decorative artist." I waited, but the sky did not collapse. No thunder. Nothing happened. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. So I said it again. It embarrasses me to tell you this, and then decided to go along with it. I started a series of panels, determined that they should be as decorative as I could make them. Decorative to me, by the way, involves pattern as well as contrast in color and in value. This resulted in the Housewife's Fantasy series. We'll look at that at some point. And something very interesting happened. The panels got more decorative and elaborate as I went along until the 6th one. That one depicted a winged housewife hovering in midair over her ironing. That was the most decorative, and from that point on, they began to change. They got more formal and less decorative. That last panel, in which the housewife flies skyward, blown there by her pressure cooker, is quite formalized, and it remains decorative only through the use of color contrast. It was as if all this occurred outside my conscious control. This was very interesting. I had never before just gone with an impulse and worked it through in exactly this way. I learned so much. Perhaps it's something we need to do in other ways too, like when we have a blue day, when we feel really depressed about something. Our tendency always is to suppress that, to keep it away, fight it, and override it. Maybe sometimes we need to admit its existence and get into it, crawl right into the depression and wallow in it and see how bad it can really get. We may find that even at its worst, it's not what we feared. We may find that we can gradually come out of it, and then we will have worked our way through that particular low, facing it instead of fleeing from it. Perhaps we need to listen to our inner selves more. If we have an inclination to work a certain way, we should pursue it. We may feel that what we secretly want to do is a little strange, or that nobody is working that way, or it'll be less acceptable than what everyone else is doing. That may be true, of course. It may very well be less comfortable. It may also be more interesting, more innovative, more creative. It will certainly be more expressive of you. I've recently been resisting my inclination to work with applique. I keep pushing myself in other directions. Now I'm going to quit fighting and give over to that inclination. Sorry, this binding is really great. Sorry, okay. It doesn't mean, it's an inclination. I keep pushing myself in other directions. Now I'm going to quit fighting and give over to that inclination, just go all out for applique. See where it takes me and see where it develops from that. Most of us get ideas about what we ought to be doing or what we should do next, as though there were a prescribed order or progression. Perhaps we could consider doing exactly what we feel like doing, push that to its limits, and explore it as thoroughly as possible. It doesn't mean we can't be doing other projects at the same time, but it does let us use our energies in a positive way. It is in exploring an idea, no matter how mundane it may seem, that new ideas develop. The creative impulse is often an elusive thing. Anyone who is fortunate enough to feel an urge, to have an idea or direction, imposes themselves on their way of working. They have the opportunity to be creative. When we are in a less creative period where those impulses don't reveal themselves, then we can analyze what we want to do and make intellectual decisions about what's next. But when the impulse is there, take hold of it, push it, make it work for you, ride it, don't hold it back. Of course, there will be some dead ends. There will be some directions you try which are disappointing. But until you try them, they will lurk in some recess of your mind, pulling at all your energies. So if an idea is compelling, if a vision sticks in your mind, if something is calling to you, follow it. Trust your instincts and your intuitions. Take the ideas you come up with and keep working. It's good stuff, right? Isn't that good? She's really good. I really like her. Yeah. I mean, God. Keep writing. Keep writing. I think that's, I mean, there's a lot of, there's these different chapters, keep talking, keep, playing. And I read all of them, right, to see what to read to you tonight. But, But I chose those because, like, keep writing, like, yeah, maybe you should write some, I want to get the stains on the screen, these stains, aren't they great on by the shoulder and up there. Keep writing. I mean, maybe you haven't been writing at all. Maybe you should try. Hey, Threadist, I'm reading from, can one of the mods put it in there? Because, this doesn't work very well. Oh, yeah, that's good, Natalie. That's a good one. I should talk about that one. But keep writing. That's good. That's good. Write it down. I mean, I've said I've been a writer. My first thing, I am not anything before I'm a writer. I've been writing my whole life. I write a journal. I write about 1,000 pages a year in my journal. Writing is how I order reality. That's how I say it. That's why I do it. Writing is how I order reality. If I don't write it down, and I'm not, I'm not obsessive about it in a certain way, but I just cannot make sense of things unless I write it down and write through it and stuff. And so, it's helpful. And one of the things that she does that's so good is maybe a month ago or so, I told you about some writing books that are very, very good. And one of them is by Verilyn Klinkenberg, several short sentences about writing. And one of the things that he says in that book, and it's one of the 2 best books of writing advice I've ever read, he's like, write short sentences. Don't worry about like your style or like writing in a certain way, and don't worry about like, oh no, I think I'm too influenced by the Brontes. Like no, don't worry about it. There's no such thing as style. Write what you're thinking, and write sentences that are short. Do not try to make them anything that they're not. Jean Ray Laurie, to me, as a writer, she's great because she just says things that she feels and that are true. Like, she doesn't try to make it fancy. It's just so clear. Some of her sentences are three words long, and it's so nice, and it's great to read, and it's great to hear. And so I wanted to read the writing thing. Also because I've been thinking about, anyway, some other stuff. I'll save it for Thursday at 11 a.m. Central if you want to join. But and then I wanted to read the keep working part, because it's just such wonderful stuff about creativity and working through stuff when you're just not feeling it, Go lean into it anyway, because it's the only way out is through, right? Anyway, thank you, Raffle. God bless you. It can be therapeutic. And there's another thing real quick, and then we're going to sign off for the night. But write with the voice in your head. Exactly. Well, I mean, Kenny, that's not too bad, But I mean, so the other thing about journals and stuff and diaries and all that, I have another great book, because I love diarists. If somebody keeps a diary, like, I'm interested. There's famous diaries, Anais Nin being one of the real famous ones, and she was real sexy, and so she wrote a lot about sex and whatever. So her diary, and she wrote a lot. So Anais Nin or Anais Nin. But there are these famous diarists and stuff, and there's a really good book called A Book of One's Own. Maybe I'll make a Abe link for it. But it's people in their diaries, and Thomas Mallon wrote it, and so the reason I mention it is because he says there's all these different kinds of diary writers and journal writers. You don't have to be somebody who writes every day. He's like, there are some, and he categorizes different famous journals there are the people who log everything. They write every day. They log what happened. There's not a lot of reflection. It's just like start date, da-da-da. That's one chapter of the book. He talks about those kinds of diarists. He talks about another kind that's they're the travel diarists. They really only write when they are like on a train, or they're on a ship or on a plane. And that's totally legit. Like, you don't have to write every day. You don't have to write great writing. But writing your things down, it's just like Jean said, when you get a love note, it's like, it's different from when somebody says that they like you. If they write it down that they like you and they give you that note, it's good. Stream of consciousness, that's right. It can't, Dee Dee Brooker, writing, it is extremely difficult. I would say, though, if you're trying to be someone you're not, if you just, I know it is very difficult, but if you're just writing for yourself, it is less hard because you don't have to worry about making it right. You just get it down. And it takes practice too, but, and it may not be for you. And you know what? If you don't ever want to write, that's totally cool. Because some people are like, I have no desire to do that and I don't like it. Like, okay, totally awesome. And Jean Marie Laurie would say the same thing. If you keep hammering it, like, I'm going to be a journal writer, I'm going to write in my journal every day, and you're miserable every day, don't do it. It's not for you. And that's completely legitimate. So I respect that. So anyway, a digital diary. That's right. Jay Densier, I journaled incessantly when I was a teen through my early 20s, and my reflections bored me, so I stopped. Oh, God bless you. God, what do I even want to... That's really great. Yeah. And when you recognize that, it can be a very painful moment. You're like... I look back at some of my journals, and I'm so embarrassed. Oh, my God. But sometimes I'm like, you were doing your best, So, okay, everybody. Bless you. Love that for you. Bless your heart. All that stuff. It's great to be with you, and I hope you have a great night. I'm gonna chill, maybe do a few more things tonight, but then hit the hay. Hey. Take care and tell a friend and subscribe if you're not subscribed and follow and all that stuff. And I think you're great and I love you and I'll see you soon. Mwah. Hey, Prairie Susie. Oh my God, I didn't even see you come in. Okay, Proud. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, I'm glad I saw you before M. Hicks said toodles. Okay.